Dude, what is this charcoal?
It's
This actually is really dark.
No, it's like really, really dark.
That's a very expensive dark roast right there.
Yeah.
What are you doing, Bill?
We're sample roasting for upcoming coffee releases. So this is the Cero Azul hybrid wash from Café Granja La Esperanza.
The CGLE, very cool.
The CGLE, yes. It's held in cherry for I think 36 hours, and then the wash. I honestly prefer this. It's a little bit sweeter than your regular wash, and I know some people really hate the held in cherry taste. So I'm just sample roasting it to see how it behaves, how it tastes on a regular Loring, so I can have some data points for myself in the future.
Yeah, but this is a very special Loring. It's so
very
tiny.
Small Loring.
What is the story with the tiny Loring?
You see, the arm doesn't actually spin the coffee, so we have to put 2 extra things to stir it, which is, yeah. This has worked way better. So if you take the cups off, it won't actually stir the coffee, which affects the cooling of it for sure.
But there are only like what, 4 of these in existence?
There are allegedly only a couple of these in existence.
And what is like the idea with the tiny Loring?
I don't know. The correct answer is I don't know. Kuro decided it would be a cool idea to get one of these. And then so we have one of these now.
But it's so you can take, like theoretically, you can take the tiny Loring roast and then do it on the big Loring.
Right, because a lot of the parts, if you see the afterburners, if you see the way they recycle air, a lot of these parts actually recycle some of the S7's parts. So this is why it was really expensive. And it is a very finicky machine. So as you can see, it has the signature Loring touchscreen TM. The user interface is the same, everything works the same.
All right,
except
so you
it
can
doesn't
load
have
the
to-
beans up there.
Except you have to manually charge it, which is which is not as cool. But it has all the smart automation that you like on the Loring. Yeah. So,
What is
and
the batch size?
What?
What's the batch size?
I'm roasting 400 grams at the moment. I am thinking switching to 500. It works reasonably well for whatever I'm doing right now, which is getting a taste of it. You can get to 95% of what you get on production. And then this is mostly for you to test out different things so that, for example, the Alboro really likes to crash. So I can note this vibration going in. And I can basically look at the curve, and then the curve, I can show you the curves. It overlays onto the actual thing pretty well, just plus 20 seconds of drying.
And then it makes it so then pretty much you can translate this to the big Loring, right?
Yes, because it's the same heat system, right?
So it's still a faster roast, right?
Marginally faster, just because if you put your hands near it, you can feel that the machine is really hot.
Okay, yeah.
So
Yeah,
the
it's warm.
metal to coffee ratio is obviously different from the small Loring to the big Loring, right? So it's gonna have a little bit more conduction. So how we combat, and then so the first half of the roast is gonna turn really quickly, and then it's gonna stall at the end if you treat it like a regular roast.
You got to tell the viewers what's going on.
So we're looking at this. We're letting the roast soak because there's a lot of heat from the metal. So I'm not doing anything for a minute. I'm just letting it soak and gradually applying heat. This is a profile that we like on the small Loring. We are just testing things out. So this is Ethiopia. So Ethiopia likes a lot of heat. So I might just blast it with a lot of heat. This is what I'm gonna do.
So I have had coffee off of this roaster that you roasted for me, and it for sure has the definition of acidity that you get. Like, if you roast on like Aleo Bullet or
Right, it doesn't have
right?
the-
You don't have the power.
Uh-huh.
This thing's got the power.
Yes. So the preheat procedure on this thing is a little bit finicky. So this is the Cero Azul. Yes, you take this off, which is very jank. And then you do this, which is also very jank.
And that is what, like 100 something? How many
400
grams?
something, yeah.
200 grams?
So 300 something gram roast, 360 possibly. Yeah, that's being fine.
And then, okay, so yeah, the arm that you have down there does not touch all of the coffee. For
No,
cooling.
it does not touch coffee at all.
Why is it even there?
I don't know. It's useless, just like me. Useless.
You're useful.
I
There
don't
you
know.
go, and there's your sample.
There's
Or
a
it could be, this could be a production roaster for somebody.
Yes, I know certain someone's trying to use this as a production roaster.
But you're just banging out all of your sample roasts with, I guess, a roaster that is the closest to your production roaster, which is
Yes.
down there.
Yeah, which is a luxury that not a lot of people have because ROS works a little bit differently, but this is built by Loring. Temperature probe is very similar. You get maybe half a degree off, but you can get the same development time, you get the same Meyer time, you get similar looking shapes, and similar power settings too if you dial this in correctly. So this is why this is really nice.
And you've been using this for how long now? Ever since they got it?
Pretty much, yeah.
Uh-huh.
I think I'm the only customer using this.
But what's nice about this is if you have really special coffees, like, did you do your Eugenioides on these? On this
No,
roaster?
the Eugenioides, I did it on the large machine because there were 6 kilos of it. But the best of Panama is roasted here. And then we will drop this new glow soon, TM.
Which
this is-
new glow? Oh, okay.
There's
There's an advertisement for this coffee that's
it's
part of this
what,
video then.
629-N-NF. So we sample roasted 500 grams, which will get put on the garage sale soon, TM. I don't know if this video is gonna come out before then, but maybe.
But yeah, so you know that if you buy beans from Bill, he's putting in this effort to actually sample roast it on a roaster that's very near production.
So we're looking at this. The roast is pretty much running itself.
Because it still has all that smart feature.
The
right?
smart feature, yeah, more or less. And then we're not gonna actually do anything until it gets to, like, for example, 370 maybe. And then yeah.
But you can go in with a lot of heat and do it fast if you wanted to.
You can do a 5-minute roast and it will still taste fine on this machine. But your batch size might be a little bit lower. It might run at 250 grams, for example, maybe even 200 grams. But it really depends on. So the one thing I really don't like about this machine is how long it takes to warm up. Because this machine is a little bit more conductive, right? So having good warm-up procedure actually matters a lot. And then given how tiny the gas pipe are on this machine.
Oh yeah, where
Like
is it?
if you look at the gas pipe right here, it's tiny. The valve is tiny. The gas will shut itself off during warm up.
Oh wait, really?
Yes. Like the gas actually shuts itself off during warm up. And this thing takes about an hour to warm up, whereas the Loring downstairs takes about 30 minutes. Which is,
And this is like 5 times smaller.
it's 5 times smaller.
Yeah. And that's because of the gas pipe. You're limited by that.
Right, it's just super small. It's physics.
But outside of that, it's pretty good.
It's pretty good. I have no complaints about this so far.
And functionality is exactly the same if you're used to roasting on big Loring.
Yeah, basically. It works almost the same as the big Loring.
Just with obviously
Like,
various quirks, as in you have to pour the beans in yourself. There's no sucking stuff. The cooling tray is goofy.
so for example, I'm overlaying a production curve on top of it. You
So
can
the
see-
big Loring.
Yeah, the big Loring. The gray line is the big Loring.
Oh,
And you can see that they're like very, very similar.
close. Yeah.
Except one turns quicker, but if you just shift everything to the right a little bit, they
The behavior is similar.
very similar.
So your roasts should be
Similar.
similar. But does it taste similar?
It tastes also. I mean, it's gonna have a little bit more conduction, right? So if you notice that all the coffee that it drops is noticeably a little bit darker, just because how much conduction this thing has. Yeah, you will see it when I drop the coffee. It will look visibly much darker than like what you're used to from the
On the big one.
on the big one. Yeah.
But the point is for you to get as accurate representation as possible
Right.
on production, which is what this is able to do. Even if the roast level is slightly, or maybe it's not even that
not
different.
darker.
It's just visually darker.
It's just that if you're having an actual value that you're aiming for, this is just going to be a little bit darker on the surface. It's going to be a little bit darker. You can combat this by dropping it like a couple seconds earlier. That also works. But yeah, I'm not convinced that you can get a full picture. And if anything, I always sample roast one shade darker than what I like, just so that I get a full picture of what I want. Because you can always go lighter, but if you underdevelop, you can't
on
taste all of
production,
it.
you always can go lighter.
Right. Yeah, so this, as you can see, it's not doing
It's
anything.
not even touching anything.
It's not touching anything, which is useless. This is why we put. Now it's actually working. There we go.
Is this feedback that Loring needs to have?
I don't know. It works. It works, and it doesn't work that well, but it works well enough that I don't really care at the moment. So we're roasting this special coffee, which Brian is going to feature on X-Bloom, so we're sample roasting it today.
Maybe, should we make that into a real video?
Up to you. So we're done.
Okay. Well, we are doing something cool on X-Bloom. We're doing Hamasho coffee.
It's also not a traditional wash. It has been dry fermented. I think that you can see right here, right? The Ethiopian actually looks kind of dark on the surface.
Yeah. I mean, it's still light in the context of coffee.
Right, but like...
It is a little darker than what you'd expect from a production roast from you.
Right,
so
like,
that's just like physics right there.
It would just look dark, and that would be okay.
But this, when you taste it, is going to be like as close as possible to real Loring.
Yes.
Okay, cool. I don't know. Do we need to add anything else about this? It's just a tiny Loring, guys.
It's a small Loring with a very jank cooler.
I'll get another shot of Bill taking the coffee out. So this is, look at these cup solutions here. Like this is so advanced for cooling.
Berkeley engineering, they say.
Engineering, yeah.
Engineering.
Engineer. But once it's going, you can bang out roast after roast.
Right.
It's quick. Your roasts are fast, like typical Loring roast, which is awesome.
Right.
And the flavor profile is there. And then if you want to scale up, you can totally scale up. And you can go up to like, I think they make huge, those kestrels are like huge.
The kestrels and the padrines.
Do you have to whack that?
Occasionally a bean or two gets stuck right here. And then it will just stay there for 20 minutes and it will get too dark. So you just whack it to make sure everything goes in.
Okay, but yeah, that is the tiny Loring. I don't know why we put this video up here, but it's just really interesting. I'm a big Loring fan, and this is the only one that at least we have access to, and Bill has been using it for a while now, so just wanted to show this off. If you're a coffee roaster, this probably will exist for you at some point in time, and if Loring sees this, you will see some feedback on that roaster.
Please talk to Loring.
Please talk to Loring.
And getting one of these. We're definitely looking for sponsors here.
Okay, bye.